Where's my phone? I'm live. I was getting text messages. Okay. Hey, everybody. Exciting, exciting, exciting. It is Healing Tuesday. I'm telling you, I'm going to get me a little jingle, a little ditty. I'm going to get me a little something. I'm actually in a new spot. I'm setting up some stuff. So eventually I'll push this back where you can see my new desk, my new chair. You can see all this stuff. But it's not quite organized like I would want it to be just yet. But I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited about the conversation. I will tell you, unfortunately, our guest, Dana Martin, is not able to come on. She was not feeling well. She had a few things happening earlier last week that I think have impacted her, but she is promising to come on. I then had to get myself together and do some quick research to tackle this conversation, but we will bring her on hopefully next week. If we're not doing it next week, we'll push it out to the following week. I believe her conversation is necessary. I did want to end with tonight, but we will work to bring her on at a later date so that we can, and like I said, hopefully next week, so we can end this series and jump into the next series, whatever that is. I don't even know. Let me introduce myself before I jump into this too soon. I am Dr. Tori J. I'm the founder and CEO of the Fatherless Generation Foundation. I am blessed to be able to do this work, and in doing the work of reunification, it has not been easy during COVID. How many of you would like, no, it's not been easy. And as my husband just put on there, if you are jumping on into this conversation, please share. I know some people, I had a guy tell me, oh, you only got 10 people watching. Actually, not true. There are multiple watch parties that go on during the time. And so I get to see the real numbers. And I know that Healing Tuesday is having an impact on people. I get the inboxes, I get the testimonies. And so I'm grateful for those who actually jump on, but also those who share. Anybody who you know may need this conversation. The focus of Healing Tuesday, let me get into that. This is not my father's rights conversation. I'm so sorry. That typically happens on Friday or Sunday nights, or every other Sunday that we've been doing it now. But tonight is helping fatherless individuals who are adults at this point, especially, connect the dots to their pain. Too often we don't recognize that we are hurting. We don't recognize that we are having trauma from our upbringing and from our experiences growing up without our fathers. I want to make sure I'm all lined up. I'm sorry. And this is an opportunity for you to connect the dots to the pain. You're like, you know what? I do that. I didn't know that was connected to my fatherless. You know what? I didn't realize I was fatherless. How about that conversation? So that's what we are all about on Tuesday nights. We are here to help those who have grown up in a fatherless scenario, and they are having troubles in their adult lives, and they need to connect to that pain in order to heal it. We don't want you stuck in the pain. We want to get you out of that pain. Hey, Jasmine, how are you? Look, last time you jumped on here and we had an issue, and so I had to reboot it and you didn't come back on. So I was like, oh no. So I'm glad to see you on tonight. Sorry, it is warm in my home. There are some downsides to living on the beach, so I am sweating. I meant to get a towel. And then you guys, y'all need to know I am working out like every day, 5 days, 6 days a week. So it's been a real... Your body's always warm. It seems like you're always warm after you start working out. So, but let's jump into this a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm seeing this. See, this is a part of when you can see yourself on a live, it drives you bananas. See that line is not there. We go. There we go. That line was like it was not right. So let's jump into this. Tonight we're talking about codependency. And I'm going to stick to the conversation we were going to start with Dana. We're going to let her finish it out, and we'll go from there. She said, yes, got a little tired. I just referred a friend to you yesterday as well. Oh, babe, you're commenting on the Fatherless Generation Foundation because you have access. And so it looks like I'm telling myself that I look good. I appreciate it, though. I don't know how you switched, but you did. Well, thank you, Jasmine. That's why I'm glad you're on here. And I also, while you're on here, I want you to join the ladies' room. I'm not sure if you have yet, but join the ladies' room for me, Jasmine, because I've been working tirelessly It's okay. Vark, it's okay. I've been working tirelessly. Hey, what did you just do this? Y'all better come get Tokyo. No, you didn't. Ooh, wee. Vark, come get your dog. Y'all see that? That's Burt's Bees. That's some good chapstick. Well, Tokyo just tasted it. And now he's looking at me like, what? What's the problem? He loves a good peppermint, I'm telling you. Hey, Gerald, how are you? Look, everybody's jumping on. Gerald, I need you to jump into the men's room. So let's get into this conversation tonight. No, it's not yours. That is mine. As we get into the conversation of codependency, I want to talk about this a little bit because Dana made a post a little while ago. Your dog is still licking his lips and he's loud. She made a post a little while ago pertaining to, okay, well, I will address that tonight when I get off of here. I will inbox you. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I will call her to email her tonight. But I want to, Dana made a post a little while ago, and in her post, she talked about looking for anyone and anybody, right? Anyone and anybody to help her heal, right? So that meant that she was willing to put her life and her sexuality on the line. And as I tried to tap into that about a conversation that we were trying to have about a couple of weeks ago, I was not prepared to have that conversation with you guys because I'm like, I don't know that journey. She taught me some things, and even looking and reading her book on Kindle, because she has a book that we're going to talk about. I don't want to get too much into it tonight. For those who are tuning in, our guest couldn't come on tonight. She is not feeling well, but we're going to pray for her, and we're going to bring her on next week. Let me see. I want to see something on my page. So let's go into codependency, because I know a little bit about codependency because I grew up with a mom who was codependent. I know that she was codependent because we used to go and we'd sit in the car while she went into an Al-Anon meeting. How many of you know Al-Anon is this place where, thank you, Freedom, for tagging and sharing. Al-Anon is this place where you learn traits and issues and troubles that you have. And although my mother didn't grow up fatherless per se, we were at this place. And a lot of it had to do with dysfunctional behavior concerning my grandmother. We've talked about toxic women. We've talked about toxic relationships with women and mothers, our toxic moms. Go find that, because that was a good one. And I'm pleased to announce that I talk to my mother every day now, y'all. I'm talking to her every day. I have less and less guards up, but I'm still watching my back. It's just part of my journey as I heal through my own situation. I wanted to pull up, because I can't always see the comments here. Someone's texting me. Are you guys texting me? Okay. So let's go. I keep saying that. So let's go into what codependency is. I'm just going to jump right into definition. I have a few here. I've kind of marked them off. Codependency is the addiction, the desperations of hope and unending fears and unhealthy or too unhealthy attachments. Codependency is the addiction, desperations of hope and unending fears to unhealthy attachments. It's the fear of rejection, pain, and unfamiliar experiences. Little faith in you and your ability. This is what I thought was interesting. In your ability and or right to choose, to prompt, to pick loving relationships. And you enable bad behavior from other people. That was one that I thought. One that just sums it up is, it says relationship addiction. That was one that just summed everything up. Another one says emotional and behavioral condition that affects the ability to have healthy, mutually satisfying relationships. That one right there says a lot about how we got here, because the The healthy part is key. Most of us, when we grow up in fatherless homes, we know a lot of toxic behavior, dysfunctional, generational curses. We know a lot of that, a lot. And then we know about a lot of one-sided relationships. Someone's always giving more than the other person. So it's this mutually satisfying relationships. This is what I need you to understand and why I wanted to have this conversation on the Fatherless Generation Foundation page on Healing Tuesday. Because what you need to recognize, Tokyo's doing a lot, is codependency is rooted in early life experiences, things like abuse, neglect, abandonment, rejection, conditioning. It even talked about having insecure attachments. How many of you have felt like you stayed with someone or because of your insecurity, or you clung to someone because of your insecurity? Some of you, that was your own father when he wasn't really what you needed at the time. He really wasn't the kind of dad that you needed at the time. Sometimes our dads are not where they need to be in order to be emotionally loving fathers. That's not most, but there are some dads who I know are that way. Even listening to a video that we posted yesterday, he was talking about the dads from the past, how our fathers and then their fathers, and then they were raised by fathers who weren't as nurturing and loving and, caring as a lot of the dads are now. Men have learned, they've evolved, they recognize that they need to be present, they need to be loving and caring and nurturing, and they have the ability to be. Often we've talked about in courts and things like that, where they always see the mom as the nurturer. Men have the capability of being nurturers as well. It just doesn't look the same. And when I'm looking at how these things are rooted in our early childhood and we become codependent, we learn it at an early age. It actually said in the developmental chapter that I was reading tonight to get prepared, it said between the ages of 9 and 14, this is developed in you. Codependence is developed within you. Now let's think about us as we get older. That doesn't just go away. How many of you have been in a codependent relationship? I want you to put a 1 in the box. If you've been in a codependent relationship, I want you to put a 1 in the box. I want to see where we're at. Hey, Freedom, thank you for tagging. Hey, Apostle Blackwell, she said, all right now. Put a 1 in the box if you've been in a codependent relationship. I want to see where we're at. Because this is what we have to recognize. Codependency typically is obsessive patterns enabling bad behavior. It's all rooted in what we think is love. Jasmine says 1. Sexuality and just dating relationships. Gerald said 1. Yeah. All have harmful consequences for the codependent person and their partners. It's not just affecting you, it's affecting those that you call yourself in a relationship with. Let's see. Anybody else got a 1 in there? Okay, everybody else is like, I had no codependent. Maybe as we continue on, you'll see where you fall into this. I love the fact that we can even acknowledge that beyond just saying, oh, I have bad relationships. Dwayne, I see you. I'll show you later, Gerald. I'll send you the link later, how to get into the men's room. Dwayne said he's a 1. So often, we're fatherless and we go, oh, I'm not good at relationships. I'm bad at this. I'm bad at that. But we don't give it a name. We don't give it a thing. We don't figure it out, like to go deeper. Codependency is going deeper. How did you get there? What does that look like? I want to go through a couple of things on how you got here. I'm going to turn a couple of pages because I've taken some notes in order to have this conversation with you. One thing that I read today that I thought, oh yeah, he said 10, more like 10 to 15. Okay, I got you. One thing that I read today that I thought was remarkable, that I'd never thought about when it came to codependency. It says dysfunctional families do not acknowledge their problem. They don't talk and they don't confront. That's codependency, when you don't talk and you don't confront. Did you guys know that codependency is hereditary and genetic? I didn't know that. I thought it was just a learned behavior in a sense, but some studies are showing that it's even genetic. I can recognize that I saw unhealthy relationships growing up, not just with my mother in relationships with other men, but relationships with her parents. I've seen it in other individuals that I was growing up around. Their relationships was really dysfunctional. But, you know, we have this old saying, let me go here. I'm about to go here. We have this old saying that, you know, you only got one mama. We have this saying that, you know, family's all you got. Blood is thicker than water. You know those sayings? Those sayings are toxic. They're absolutely toxic, because what we'll do is we will stick with a toxic family member because blood is thicker than water. We will allow our parents to do things to us that are detrimental to our development and to our health, because eventually this is coming out into your health, you have diseases, you have emotional, mental health issues. It comes out some way, somehow. But we don't acknowledge this. We don't talk about that there's an issue. We don't confront it. We actually repress these emotions. We disregard our own needs. And when you do that, that's where you're going to find disease. That's where you're going to find disease. That's where you're going to find it, because you were taught to repress it because no one was talking about it. So this codependency that no one's talking about, everybody has it in your family, but no one's saying anything. Everybody knows that auntie whatever has an addiction to alcohol, and everybody's talking about that, or drugs, but no one talks about the addiction to sex. No one talks about the addiction to relationships. We only stigmatize those things that seem to be stigmatized within our society. But let me tell you, codependency isn't pretty. One of the reasons some of us get stuck in this cycle of codependency that I kind of smiled at a little bit, because, well, when I read it, you'll know. One of the ways, hey, Jacob, one of the ways that we, that codependency manifests itself. And it goes back to what Dana posted that really made me want to get her on here. And I can't wait to have this conversation with her. When she said, you know, I was constantly looking for somebody and anybody and anything to get under to help me heal and to find me. So this was a quote that I read on a blog today. Looking for the one who will complete you. And yeah, that's all. I'm sorry. Looking for the one who will complete you. This completion part, and is the one that will complete you. This is what keeps you in a dysfunctional cycle. Looking for the one who will help provide your happily ever after. How many of you know there's not a one who can do that? But when you think that there's a one, you'll go from person to person, to thing, looking for the thing, the one, as Dana talked about. Anything and anybody to heal you, to help you find yourself. There is no one, people. The church I used to attend back in the day used to say this: what if the one got in a car accident and died? Are you destined to be single for the rest of your life? No. What if the one, right, is gone? Maybe they married somebody else. Do you harp on it and say, oh, they were supposed to marry me? And then you pray that their wife die or they get a divorce? I've heard people do this. Now, I'm not even gonna lie. I know people who think these things. It's like, child, that man is married, or that woman is married. Y'all need to let it go. Let it go. But looking for the one who will complete you keeps you in a cycle of dysfunction. Looking for the one who's going to make you happy. I need somebody to know tonight that completion is within yourself. Completion comes from within. That's why this is called From the Inside Out. Completion comes from within. You have to do the work to make yourself as whole as possible. We have all been broken. Don't let somebody tell you otherwise. Don't let someone make you feel inferior to the brokenness and the hurt and the pain and the trauma that you've experienced in life. We have all, if we are on this planet, we've all experienced it. So it's your job to find your wholeness. It is your job to do the work to become whole. And that means you can't repress anymore. That means you can't put yourself in a position where you disregard your own needs. Your body tells you what it needs on a regular basis. When you need sleep and you push past that, what does your body do? It'll shut down on you in a heartbeat and you'll end up sick. And guess what you'll need to do? You need to go lay down. My body does it. Doesn't do it all the time, but it does. It's the same thing. You guys need to recognize that your body is telling you what it needs. But too many of us aren't getting quiet enough and still enough to hear. I've said it many times. Being busy is a distraction and a deterrent to you fulfilling your purpose and finding your purpose and even discovering who you are. And so if you refuse to get still, if you refuse to get quiet, you will never know what is going to be required of you to become whole, and you will continue to live in this cycle of looking for someone who can complete you and someone who can make you happy. Happiness comes from you. It does not come from someone else. All of those two things come from within. I know the world and the movies and all of that stuff has told you otherwise. They lied. Just like they said, sticks and stones may break your bones, but names will never hurt you. They lied on that too. Names hurt way more than a stick and a stone being thrown at you. Don't let cliches keep you bound. Do you hear me? Do not let cliches keep you bound. These cliches of toxic family members, these cliches of, oh, it's just my knight in shining armor. Come on. We have to understand how powerful we are. But when we grow up in homes that don't validate that don't affirm that, we don't know it. So it's our job as adults to get that, especially before we jump into new relationships. This is something that I wrote down, just a thought that I had that I want to ask you guys. Have you ever thought that codependency keeps you pursuing the love high without ever developing a genuine, intimate connection with another partner? How many of you have experienced the love high, but then somehow you can't quite connect? Somehow you can't quite get intimate with that person? Put a 1 in the box if that's you. Put a 2 if you like, nope, I connect just fine. I want to put a 1 in the box for me. If you are able, or if you recognize that there's a love high that you're chasing, that you're pursuing, and even in pursuing that, you're not able to still be intimate, intimacy, allowing people in, connectivity, vulnerability. You're not able to do that. Put a 1 in the box if that's you. Put a 2 if you are like, I am vulnerable, I'm able to connect, I'm all of that. I think about a young lady who is on here often, Nydia. I know people are like, she's part of my life. She is literally part of my life, but she is moving to Kansas, guys. So she is packing, moving, and then unpacking. So she's got a lot going on. Jasmine's like, nope, I'm good. Okay. I want to say this as we're touching this, but one of the things that Nydia says a lot is talking about this codependent, the relationships. Freedom's like, yeah, no, I recognize that's who I am. Thank you, Freedom, for that. And before I jump to that conversation about Nydia, one thing that I say often on my memes on a Facebook Live, hey, Stephen, and I have a meme that shows it. Fatherless children are highly sexual, rarely intimate. Highly sexual, rarely intimate. Because the intimacy requires connection. The intimacy requires vulnerability. The intimacy requires trust in allowing someone to see into you, into me see. And too many of us can't get there. We can't quite connect there. We can't quite make the leap there. This is where I want to go with conversation that Nydia talked about. Nydia says things about her being, she'll sabotage relationships. And when I wrote this down, I immediately thought of her and others who have been on here and been my tribe for a little while. Codependents sabotage good relationships for the fear of getting too close. Why are you afraid of getting too close? This is where I want to go. That I like that Nydia has said and has said multiple times, and I think it's worth saying here. You're afraid of getting too close because you're waiting for the shoe to drop. You're not sure when the shoe is going to drop. And so when the shoe drops, what you're thinking is they're going to reject you. They're going to abandon you. When are they going to cheat on me? When are they going to abandon me? When are they going to create trauma in my life? So you won't get too close. So you sabotage the good relationship. I never considered that codependency until tonight, because this next statement is what I thought codependency was. But reading, getting myself prepared for this on the fly, I read this and I was like, wow, that is codependency. I just never saw it that way. But we will sabotage a good relationship because we're so dependent on the unhealthy, bad, dysfunctional cycle. Okay. Another one that I wrote down that I always thought was the truth of codependency is the unwillingness to let go of unhealthy relationships. Come on, somebody. Stayed too long. Knew you were staying too long, but I can help them. Y'all, Jada, look, but I can help them heal while you're still broken. But I can help them. I got this. Unwillingness to let go of the unhealthy relationships. Here's some of the traits. You're desperate, you're needy, controlling, and you're manipulative. That's some of the traits of your codependency where you feel like it's unhealthy, but I can't let it go. Your desperation is fueling it. Your neediness is fueling it. Your manipulation and control, maybe from the other person, is fueling it. But how many of you know that when we're codependent and we're on the other side of this thing, that we can also be manipulating and controlling? Victimhood can be a manipulation and a controlling tool. It's time for us to get healed. It's time for us to recognize what we've done wrong, that's kept us bound in these dysfunctional codependent relationships. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about, that I've had to talk about a lot, and I'm working on this myself, is boundaries. Whew, can I get an amen for boundaries, people? Boundaries. Boundaries is key. Boundaries is a necessary tool that we can utilize for ourselves. Boundaries. Because I want to say this before I get into the discussion of boundaries. Survivors of or codependent people, this is a quote from a particular blog that I read, actually on the sexology department. It was a sexology study. Survivors of or codependent people develop behaviors that help them deny, ignore, and avoid difficult emotions. How many of y'all dated somebody who they don't want to touch nothing complicated, nothing difficult, nothing confrontational? Put a hand up for me. They don't want to touch it. They don't want to deal with it. None of that. Maybe because they're codependent or they've survived codependency and they figured it out. This is the truth of what it is. And I wrote this down in capital letters. They're detached. Detached. Are you detached from people? Let's go outside of romantic relationships. Do you struggle with connecting with friendships and people? Is that you? Because that's a sign of codependency. It even says here, they detach themselves. They don't talk. They don't touch. They don't confront. They don't feel. They don't trust. This is codependent. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't think that was codependence. When I looked at codependence, I'm telling you, I thought it was simply the unwillingness to let go of a bad situation. Today, I learned something new. Codependent people are detached. Isn't that weird? For me, that was weird. How are you detached but you're codependent? Because you're attached to something that is dysfunctional. You're attached to something, you're in an entanglement. I'm sorry. Those who know. You're in an entanglement. And an entanglement does not require true emotions. It doesn't require true connection. Let's go here. Y'all done had a one night stand. You've had, they used to call it cuffing season a few years ago. Friends with benefits. That's the one you having sex with, but there's no emotional attachment to it. Yeah, Dawn says, wow, that doesn't sound right to me either. Interesting. Look, I saw it on multiple books and in multiple blogs. And I was like, wow. But I get it. Once I thought about it, I really got it. My husband, yep, I don't like anybody but you. So you admitting that you're codependent. That is not me, you guys. That's him. He's an administrator on my page. Yeah, they don't touch, they don't talk, they don't confront, they don't feel, they don't trust. And even in that, they have very good intentions. That's what it said. I was like, how do you have good intentions? I don't know how you have good intentions, but okay. So let's get to some of the stuff that can help us through. Jasmine, I'm glad you tuned in. I'm glad to have you on here. I want to get to some of the stuff that can help us deal with this, right? I want to help. I don't want to just present the problem. I want to help and bring a solution. So let's go into the boundaries. The boundaries. How many of you have boundaries that you have set up around you when it comes to relationships? How many? Just put a 1 in the box. If you have boundaries, if you have established boundaries in your life, boundaries are really a system by which if someone does something dysfunctional, toxic, or anything like that towards you, there are consequences that they will be rewarded with because of that. I will tell you, as fatherless individuals, it is very difficult. Dawn says, yeah, because Dawn, you've done the work. Dawn, if you have no boundaries, yes, Gerald, I said I'm gonna follow up with you tonight before I get off of here, because I need to do that via text or email. I'll put it in the portal. Boundaries are key. How many of you have set up boundaries? That's a 1. If you haven't, put a 2 in the box. I'm working on boundaries, but it's so hard to keep it. Yeah, it is. Because sometimes boundaries, Dawn's still working. Sometimes boundaries don't work for people. Or the consequences that you have implemented don't work for the people who you have surrounded yourself with. That means that maybe they're toxic and you just need to get rid of them. So growing up fatherless, I recognize that many of us didn't learn boundaries in that household. Much of that comes from the fact that our mothers, if we were raised in a single parent home, our mothers violated a lot of boundaries, probably because we were put in roles and positions that we were never intended to be in as kids. Parentification is one of those things where you're the oldest, so you become the parent to the children younger than you. That's breaking boundaries. That is not appropriate. Talking about their emotions, making you the man of the house, or, you become their boyfriend technically at that point. All of these things are violation of your boundaries. But if you were never taught any, you just allow people to do whatever to you. So my number 1 solution to you, and I've said it multiple times, we've talked about it on these lives, is I need you to set up boundaries. I need you to set up boundaries for yourself, for your life, not just for romantic relationships, but also for the people, just friendships. We let friends run over us. We let friends say whatever they want to say. We've had long time friends and family members. Set up boundaries. You're not going to talk to me like that anymore. I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing that. You have to set up boundaries. And if you do, this is how you set up a boundary. I will not be talked to that way. If you choose to speak to me that way again, then I will have to cut off all communication, or I will have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to come up with your consequence. I'm a good cutter offer. I cut off all communication until I feel it's safe again. Because I feel like if I got to warn you too many times, or you just violate too many times, I don't even know how to move forward. But you have to tell them, stop hiding. Because I'm not going to cut you off without telling you. That's another thing we do. You'll just disappear on someone, and then they come back into your life and they don't even know what happened, and you never say anything. Boundaries. The way you deal with codependency is dealing with boundaries. What boundaries will do is they will help build your confidence, because many of us struggle with a lack of confidence. He is chiming in. Many of us deal with a lack of confidence. And so once you have your boundaries set, your lack of confidence will go away, because what you're doing is you're helping your sense of self. How many of you know that? No, Freedom, I'm not. You're helping your sense of self. I'm an Aquarius. When you set up boundaries, you are holding your position. It's a sense of self. But when you don't have any boundaries, you get morphed into, let's go here. You get morphed into the relationship and your identity becomes the relationship. Your identity becomes the dysfunctional, codependent relationship. And that's one of the reasons you're unwilling to let it go. That's one of the reasons it's difficult to let it go. Because you morph, you become whatever you need to become to be in the relationship. Period. Freedom, what made you say that? Jasmine said, I'm a Gemini. I don't know. I don't know enough about signs. Dawn says, yes, that's hard. Yeah. It takes a lot of practice to do that. Because when you have not had any self-identity, any self-worth, y'all naming y'all. I can guesstimate. I'm going to tell you one book that I love about signs. I will tell you. It's a book back in the day. Marilyn Hickey wrote a book called, I think it's called The Stars in Heaven. I see, now y'all got me on this. But I will say this. The book actually helped me see something about myself that most people are like, oh, don't do astrology. Don't do signs in the heavens. Well, I may as well. She said, I'm a Cancer. Oh, she said, because Virgo's out. She said, oh, because I'm a Virgo and I'm quick to cut somebody off. No, but no, I'm going to say, the book is called Signs in Heavens, and it speaks about astrology from a very spiritual perspective that blew my mind. And I will never forget my particular sign and what that meant, but I'm going to leave that there. But it's a really good book, Signs in the Heavens, Marilyn Hickey. Here, y'all got me off, but I can guess. I know some of these signs. Stars in the Heavens. Yes. No, Hickey, my love. Marilyn Hickey, Hickey, Key. But yes, while we're on there, she said you're quick to cut people off. I've learned that though, Freedom. See, and Freedom, your name is free. Your name is Freedom. Girl, that's a powerful name. So I know, and I'm going to say this just so I know there's a lot of bondage that tries to happen and lock you up because our names speak very loudly. Our names say a lot, and the enemy comes for our name. That's our identity, because my name means victory. And trust me, the enemy loves to try to defeat me. He loves to try to make me look like I'm losing. When I'm winning, I'm victorious. So let's look, now that we've gone through all of those particular things, let me go back to what I was talking about. I was talking about boundaries. Oh, and the insecurities. Your insecurity is fueling, it's literally fueling your codependency. But the moment you find yourself and your self-worth and your sense of self, you'll be able to stand on those boundaries. You'll be able to tell people, I'm not going to allow you to speak to me this way. I'm not going to allow you to treat me this way. I'm not going to allow, like, you can tell them and you have no problem honing in on what it is you need, because your sense of self, you've taken the time to hear what you need, to create the wholeness that you need, to draw in exactly who you are. All the busyness and the distractions are over, and you get that healing that you need. And so you have no problem looking someone in the eye and saying, if you do not quit this behavior, if you don't stop this, I will have to end our relationship, or I'll have to have a Selah moment with you in our relationship. That's a pause. You're going to have to think about it, because I'm not going to continue like this. That's how you stand firm, when you know who you are, when you're able to stand in it. But if you're not able to do that, guess what? People will continue to run over you. People will continue. Varg, that's what I'm talking about. It's the boundaries. How does one break the codependency? Setting up boundaries is one of the things, because it gives you confidence. It takes away insecurity, and it gives you a sense of self. It keeps you from morphing into the relationship and allowing you to become a better you and a whole you, but still you in the relationship. Dawn says, hold on, I want to put this. She says, the beginning of a phenomenon or a period of time, especially one considered favorable. Woo, come on, Dawn, with the knowing of the name. The beginning of a phenomenon. Now, I have not met you personally, but I've met you virtually, and you are definitely a phenomenon, man. And you are definitely favorable. See, when we know our names, come on, Freedom, you better speak your name. I love that name. I had to learn what my name meant, you guys. I was in Bible school in London. I think I've shared this with people before. And I had no idea. They were going around the room. Their name meant, born on a Monday, because a lot of them were from Africa or Jamaica or Bahamas when you're in London. And they were like, their name means this and that and all these different things. And I was like, well, okay, I don't know what mine means. And I had to go and do some research. And I was like, oh, it's a root word for Victoria. No, my name is not Victoria. It's not. What is the opposite of codependency, if there is one? Interdependency, I believe. I will say that, Tina. I believe it's interdependency. You're supposed to have a level of dependency and connection with people, but it's not independency. That's where we go, right? We go to independence. See, once we untangle, thank you, Tina. That's a good segue. Once we get untangled from these entanglements, we go, I'm independent. No, that's still dysfunctional, especially when you're supposed to be in a relationship. What you have to do, yep, Vark means warrior, and he is definitely that. When it comes to this, we have to go to interdependency. Interdependency is allowing you in your wholeness to connect with another person in their wholeness. And people may not be fully whole. That's another thing we get caught up in these relationships. We want perfection. And so, well, they ain't this and that. People are on their own journey. My husband said, stop it. Okay, I'll stop. Thank you. Oh, that's Periscope. Thank you for chiming in. We can't go from codependence to independence. We have to find interdependence where we are connecting to someone and we're not looking at them saying, well, they're not whole and complete. Nobody is. Look, we're all on a journey, as Dawn talked about. We're all in a place where we're learning and growing and becoming who we're called to be. Marriage will definitely put you in that place. No questions asked. It will, without a doubt, make you dig into some of the deeper parts that you didn't touch in your single life. It will get you. Because at the end of the day, God wants us whole. He never promised we wouldn't be broken. He never promised that we wouldn't have trauma impact our lives. What he promised was that he would make us whole again. And that's what we need to focus on. As we're healing, we're looking for wholeness. As we're healing, we're looking for a place where we can still see the scars. We can still see some of the damage that's happened to us. But we also aren't on the rat race of constantly talking about it and constantly in it, and it doesn't trigger us. Right? Help them how to do that. Which part? Go from, I think you're talking about from independence to interdependence. That is a wholeness piece. That is healing. You have to do the work to heal. Because once you start setting up boundaries, then you have a place where you can go do that. But we just allow people to intrude on us because we like the distraction, right? We allow people to intrude on us because we like the busyness. You're intruding on my space, my time, who I am, where I am, what I need to be doing. And I allow you to do it because I really don't want to sit down with me. I really don't want to deal with me. But the moment you deal with you, you are able to then continue in the wholeness and the healing towards the wholeness that you need. But it's a process and it doesn't feel good. Sitting by ourselves or getting into a place where we have to spend a little more time with ourselves. Come on, Dawn. Healing is harder than staying sometimes. Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes we leave because we don't want to do the work of healing. That's just where we are as people. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It's just where you feel like you have to tap out. Can I tell you why people like drama? You guys, once again, that is not me typing that. That's my husband because he is, hey, Sarah. Because he is an admin on the page. Can you tell me why? I don't know why people like drama. It's part of their dysfunction. Maybe they grew up in drama. Maybe they grew up in chaos. I did listen to the message from church, and that was one of the things that he said. He said sometimes people don't recognize that it's chaos or it's drama because it's just what they're used to. We see it as drama because we're like, this ain't normal. This ain't me. I don't know what y'all doing. But maybe that's how they grew up. So it's not drama to them. It's normal. It's who they are and where they come from. So that's what I know. That's what I see. So let me see. So another way to help in this situation. It's got a lot of questions tonight. That cause drama. Does drama cause codependency? That's, yeah. Loving the drama cycle. Yeah, you can love the drama cycle and keep you codependent. I believe that. That's part of, that's part of the the fun for some people, right? That's part of the fun, is loving the drama, staying in the drama. That's why people call it baby mama drama sometimes and baby daddy drama. There's drama on both sides. Let's be clear. But either way, you're enabling bad behavior. Either way, that's the drama is enabling bad behavior. And we don't do that around here. We confront bad behavior. Sorry, people are calling me. I will get to them later. But let's go to some help. I told you about Al-Anon. Drama can be negative negotiating at the same time. I like that. I like that he said drama can be negative negotiating at the same time. Yeah, that's part of that manipulation and control. Some of us, we can work through this on our own. We can do some healing on our own. One of the things I want you to do that I talk about often on these lives that we really learned, I've mentioned it a little bit, but then when we had therapist Matthew Volker on, he really honed in on the key elements that you need to help you in your healing. So when we're talking about healing to wholeness, setting up boundaries, distractions, I need you to get some accountability. I need you, while you're going through the healing process, I want some accountability to come forth. The accountability that I want you to bring forth is this. I want you to make sure that you have your doctors. Men, you need doctors just as primary care. We all need it because this stuff is coming out. I need you to have a therapist, a counselor, mental health professional. I need you to have a coach. And then I need you to have amazing friends who are not yes people, who will require you to be accountable to them. When you want to go out and be busy and don't do your work and don't get to the place of wholeness, they're going to say, no, Tori, you got to go sit down. You said this is what you wanted to do on this night. Not to say that you can't have moments of reprieve, because you will need it through this journey. But there are times when you need to set aside just for you, just to hear who you are, just to hear where you are. And your friends need to know that so that they can hold you accountable in this season of healing. And I like the fact that we're healing to wholeness. That was a conversation I had with Pastor Marquita, who was on here a couple Sundays ago. Those of you who don't have a good group of friends that you feel like you could trust with it and hold you accountable, there are 12-step programs. Al-Anon is one. There are other 12-step support groups concerning codependency. I want you to look into those. I want you to look into those and be a part of those, because they are going to help you with where you need to be. How many of you can agree that sometimes we need some help? We may not like the way the help looks. Well, let me say this, Sarah. Let me say this to you. Some of these things are live and free online right now. Because of COVID, people are doing different things. And I know I know a friend, she does a lot of one of my friends, she's been sober for 20 something years, and she does a lot of the AA meetings. And she said they're free right now. Like, they're on Zoom, they're free. Al-Anon, free. I've seen some of them free. Just go look them up. If I can find some, and I'll put the link in the box, and I'll ask her what links can I use as well. Because we can talk about, alcohol and drug, but it's all an addiction. And, the steps are very similar. And because of COVID, most people aren't meeting in a group anymore. They're meeting via Zoom, and they're not charging you for you to come on the Zoom. So you may qualify now, Sarah, because it's free. and just find those groups to get into just to help you have some support, because it's not easy when you're breaking the mold. It's not easy when you're stepping out of the dysfunction that has been going on in your family for generations. You're going to be the one mocked and picked on and talked about. And, oh, you think you're better than us. Oh, you think you're... That can be tiring and dysfunctional all in its self. But I want you to recognize that you aren't better, but you've been set apart for a season. And allow this season to set you apart so that you can get the healing that you need, so that you can be the help that you need to be for others. When I look and go back to why I wanted to have this conversation about codependency, when it talks about finding from the inside out, it goes back to this whole need of helping, looking for your own healing and helping others with their healing before helping yourself is really where this all came from. We were talking about Jada and the will situation. And that's why what she posted, Dana posted what she put on Facebook was, yeah, I've been in many entanglements and I was looking for anyone and anything to help me heal and find myself. But at the same time, we tend to get involved in situations where people need healing and we're like, woohoo, I'm a hero. But you're broken healing people, and that doesn't work very well either, because you can break them even more so. Let me see. And help and healing are an ongoing process. Yes, every time we think we're good, a new trigger comes along. Come on, Ashley. Triggers are real. Dawn says, great time to work on stuff now too. Get ready for our reboot and entering the world again. Let me tell you something. I told people when they were asking me, Tori, you need to be, we got books and we're doing it, and I'm doing it. And I am a person who is like, I do stuff like that, right? I get stuff done and and COVID has been tough, because even working with clients and getting attorneys where they need to be, when they need to be there, that has been a challenge. It's been a challenge before at times, but this has been like, hold on, Jesus. Instead of doing all of that this time, I heard in my spirit that this was the season for me to confront and focus on the things that I was too busy to heal from. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing my work during this time. It's been very important, because once it's time to go back to the world on whatever capacity, whatever this looks like, I need to show up in the best possible way. I need to show up as the best me. You said betterhelp.com is where you can get free counseling. While you at it, look, can you look up Al-Anon or anything like that? Okay. Oh, he's pumping them out for you guys. He's pumping them out for you. Hey, Pam, I see you on here. So as we no, and it won't look the same. The world we're entering in, it won't look the same. So you need to be prayed up, and you need to know who you are. Ashley, clients as far as what? Reunification? Because that's tough. I have actually said no more clients for this year concerning reunification. I am coaching, but I am not taking reunification clients until January 2021, if that's what you're asking about. Yeah, it's been stressful. Now the courts are open. It's like, are you open? Are you, oh, you're doing Zoom. Okay. It's like, it's been tough. But yes, Ashley, if you're referring to reunification, no, I am not. I think I want to say Jasmine was the last one I actually took, because she was referred to me by someone else, and she was a mom who I felt like needed some help in a certain way. But yeah, no. Coaching clients, yes, you can go to beyondfatherless.com. I was supposed to have a coaching call. I'm not sure if it was you, Ashley, or someone else. Yeah. Yeah, Gerald, tough. And then see, look, go to beyondfatherless.com, freedom. I'm going to put it in here. Gerald, it has been tough because attorneys have been trying to figure out what they're supposed to do. They had to get their lives situated, and now that their lives are kind of situated. Yes, Ashley, were you the one I was supposed to have coaching with? I got on and I emailed you, but I don't know if you got it. I think you were the one I was supposed to have coaching with last week. You signed up for Thursday. I think you were. I'm pretty sure. Um, but somehow I was on there and I was like, okay, I don't know if she got the email. I don't know if she got it. FreedomBeyondFatherless.com. You can get a free assessment. We can talk about the depth and the intention that we need to work on specifically for you. And then I've cut the prices in half during COVID. Can't travel as much. That's one other reason I cut it in half. But yeah, because some of them I will travel to you, but there's a group session, there's separate sessions, there's all these different sessions that we can do. So Ashley, yes, I can do that. Gerald, when I tell you it's been tough, it's been tough. Got you. Yeah, have him go there. I can still provide him with some resources, okay? I may not be doing it, but I may know some attorneys or whatever in your area that can help you. Okay, so go to if we're doing reunification, yeah, take him to tfgf.org. But if he's looking for coaching for the other thing, we'll go to beyondfatherless.com. All right, you guys, I want to give you this one more time. How you were able to overcome your codependency is boundaries. It's the main thing, because boundaries will give you your self-worth. It will give you a sense of self that you didn't have. It will give you the confidence that you need. And it will take you from a place of brokenness and dysfunction to a place of wholeness and healing. That's where we're going. Or I will say healing to wholeness. That's where we're going, and that's where you need to go. So I want to end tonight by saying thank you for jumping on. Thank you for joining. Those of you who are watching watching this to the end and you just jumped on and you want to see the beginning, go back and listen to the replay, because I'm telling you, codependency is a real thing, and it's not always what we think it is. And I loved how Tina jumped on here and she was like, what is the opposite of codependency? It's interdependency. I need you to find people who will mutually love you, who will have a healthy relationship with you, and who will allow you to be your best self and be vulnerable. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I want for all of you. And so it's 10 o'clock. I need to because it's my first day back, I need to get off of here and enjoy your night, enjoy your week. I will see you guys on Friday for another conversation of the impact of fatherlessness. And then Sunday, we will also do, okay, Freedom, I will see it in the morning. I'll see it in the morning. And then Sunday, we will continue our fatherhood conversation. I have some good stuff lined up for you guys this week, and I will talk to you later. Once again, I'm Dr. Tori J., founder and CEO of the Fatherless Generation Foundation. And love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.